What kinds of people do you see coming through here?
Oh, all kinds of people, families, older people who have known the house when it was over on Myrtle Street will come by. We've had the grandchildren of Joseph Spears come by. We've had pictures whose ancestors are in the people whose pictures are ancestors in the pictures around the house. We've had ghost seekers. The Bayless-Selby house was built in 1898 by a man named Sam Bayless. He lived in it until 1919 when he was killed on the north side of the house by a sharecropper named Joe Spears.
The newspapers, the Denton Record Chronicle, actually called it the difficulty. This was very shocking that this kind of thing would happen. Mr. Bayless had a few hired hands that were helping him, and one of those hired hands was Joseph Spears. And a few years prior to the incident, they had kind of butted heads.
Mr. Bayless said that Joe Spears wasn't doing him right, and he wanted him off the property. Joe told him no, he wasn't leaving. I have a contract.
So on the night of November 22nd, 1919, there were some words that were said, and then Mr. Bayless actually struck Mr. Spears with a board, which led to Mr. Spears actually stabbing Mr. Bayless in the chest, pretty close to the heart.
Mr. Bayless is so mad that he comes around the house, up this front porch, in through the foyer. We think he goes upstairs, goes into the bedroom, gets a gun, comes back down, but he falls out by the garage and barn before he ever makes it. Joe is picked up and put in jail after Mr. Bayless dies. He's bailed out.
Spears had a great reputation in town. They never called it a murder because Spears got off because it was self-defense. So there have been reports of like a smoker's cough. They've heard that coming from upstairs, and they've gone upstairs to check, and of course there's no one there. There's been footsteps heard upstairs, kind of like a heavy work boot.
I don't know. I leave it up to the guest to make a decision. Is it Mr. Bayless? Be careful when you come down the stairs. He may shove you aside.